My name's Chris and I like listening to music. I'm going to listen to Little Simz Lotus. It goes without saying it's great. It's Little Simz. Not many artists just solidly deliver like she does. It shows growth, but it's ultimately a little bit self-indulgent and depressing, lacking the fun of humour of previous records. I gave it a 9 on first listen, but I think it's lower than that and my least favourite album to date. But let's see what the last listen brings. Track 1, Thief, comes in more like an indie album than a rap album until she raps, and when she does it's as clear and impactful as she ever has been. She's obviously a bit down though. It amazes me how the more miserable famous people get, the more famous they get. You think they'd learn, but yeah, it's got a punkish chorus, heavy bass line along her trademark strings. You know, even bands like Sleaford Mods and Lambrini Girls spring to mind, which they never really have done with her. An opener that takes no prisoners and a decent start, 9 out of 10. Track 2, Floods, again more of an indie sound with a bass straight out of a goth album. African tribal beats that are tense and ominous, featuring Open Jara, whose album is really, really good, probably better than this album. Although track 2 and lead single, not really one that stuck with me, 8 out of 10. Track 3, Young, something a little bit lighter and funnier in a dark way. You know, so far the album's sort of relied more on bass and real band than it has on samples. It's got a Scar feel, Madness sort of springs to mind in that sort of fun way. Sort of song that's close to being a bit corny, but she just about pulls it off. I do find it a little bit preachy, but you have to admire how different it is, 9 out of 10. Track 4, Only, a bit more traditional Little Simz, styling a jazzy Herbie Hancock sample. Tune does remind me of Nelly, Dilemma. No matter what I do. A nice break in the madness that came before. A little bit like Kendrick does, and there's obviously a lot of similarities between the two. I think she's definitely a fan, and I'm sure he's a fan of her as well. Yeah, maybe doesn't progress as I would hoped as a song, like much of the album, about the message more than being a pop hit, I suppose. 8 out of 10. Track 5, Free, great strings and groove, but I have to confess, I'm just left a little bit underwhelmed. I miss the pop bangers a little. It's all a bit too serious. You know, like your depressed mate down the pub. There comes a point where you just go, all right, okay. You know, I miss her happiness. 8 out of 10. Track 6, Peace, acoustic, self-indulgent track, not cheering up in any way, bringing me down with her a little bit. Picks up a little bit near the end. You know, Moses Sumner doing a great Prince impression, and always been a big fan of him. But, you know, I want to grab that packet of pills. Arguably one of my least favourite Little Simz tracks ever. 7 out of 10. Look out for the second half of the review. Please like and subscribe.